Hello, Modern here. In today's video I want to show you 3 early game to mid game squad builds for Unicorn Overlord that I found to devastate any battlefield I throw them on. This game showers you with options in form of items and units alike, with each kingdom introducing its own set of new classes. Those vary greatly in strength depending on what you are facing and how you build your squad. Some units also need dedicated teams and special items to really pop off, which also means you might need some guidance on how to utilize the options you have in form of a squad capable of beating the odds. Now, if you like what I do and want to support me, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already. I cover all sorts of RPG games, be it strategy, C or ARPG on this channel in form of extensive guides. So thank you very much for supporting me, and let's dive into my top 3 squads for the early game and beyond. First, a few guidelines. The game throws 4-man squads relatively early at you, so that's what I'm going to look at. I also want to use named characters without hires as much as possible. So first I'm going to start with the High Lord unit. This unit is providing you with basically everything you need. It features high DPS, high AoE damage, CC, great sustain, great damage mitigation, and can finish off basically every infantry unit in the entire game. It can even shine versus high evasion targets, especially with the High Lord having high accuracy, but it can be lacking versus that. Now, for the High Lord, we're basically a tank that is converting PP through the Azure Crest Shield and the Citadel Guard Sabatons into AP. The Unicorn Ring gives us additional guard rate, which we need to proc our guarding impetus, because after guarding, we convert. This conversion is then used to heal us up, so we're basically a leech tank. Next, we have our Griffin Master in the squad. We want to boost the initiative of this unit as much as possible for the Day of Bloom, as well as a Great Knight with the Tailwind Cape, which boosts the initiative of a specified unit by 15 initiative. So this unit is rocking 44 initiative right from the get-go. This puts us at the top of the round table, except for first strike units. We're going to then target the back row with +2 combatants. Otherwise, we're going to target the front row and prioritize cavalry, which will now proc the Ice Conferral, which will boost our damage by 50 potency and apply freeze to all targets hit. This one is acquired through the Frostbent Tome, which is an amazing book for the Sorceress or the Witch. For the Sorceress, we also want to freeze the backline through the Frostbolt ability, so we are going to prioritize that, and then afterwards we're going to finish all targets, because through the Pile Thruster we get +1 AP if the target is defeated. Through the Assaulting Lance we get +1 AP if the target is defeated. So that's why we are going to prioritize those 2 things over everything else. Wild Rush can be used to attack 2 different targets and stun them. So this one is for basically preventing enemies from moving if they are in a column and we don't have any infantry in front of us. But if we are going to be facing infantry, we want to dip into the class trait +2 physical damage. So this unit basically deals double damage, so it's 104 physical attack damage as infantry. Through the Pile Thruster, we're going to take out targets basically always, which are already weakened through the Griffin. So if the Griffin is going to lower the health of a target to around 75%, we're going to use the Pile Thruster and finish them off. This will grant us a +1 to AP, which will bring us to 4 AP, which we can then use to use Pile Thruster again, which should then trigger the Assault Chain. If we are going to deal damage to a target with the Assault Lance and it's not going to die, our turn basically finishes. Now we additionally have the Cavalry Call, which will buff our attack damage by 20% in the raw. This is only going to apply to the Great Knight, because this is the only cavalry unit we are using in this specific raw. Basically this is going to buff our attack damage by 20%, and that's it, because we're going to use the quick action at the start of the round to buff our Griffin. The next unit is going to be the Melisandre squad. This squad is basically a dodge tank with a ton of damage in the backline. We're going to utilize the Gambler's Coin to buff our Melisandre unit damage. This one has 50% crit rate, which guarantees a critical strike on any target we hit with the Keen Edge ability, because Keen Edge gets a 50% crit rate bonus. It also is a true strike, so we're going to hit every single dodge tank that is currently in the game. We're going to prioritize our scout units, because scout units cannot evade this specific ability because it's a true strike. For Melisandre, you have to know in the upgraded state you have 2 weapons. It's taking the highest physical damage and the highest magical damage of the weapons you are currently wielding and using that, so it's not dipping 21 + 14 physical damage, but the secondary stats like plus crit rate and plus crit damage are going to be carried over. So we currently basically have a weapon with 21 physical damage, +1 AP, +10 crit strike rate, and +20% crit strike damage. We're going to further boost this one through the Carnelian Pendant and the Warrior's Medallion to basically maximize our damage. This unit hits like a truck and hits over and over and over again, and it has a defensive ability through the parry. So if we are going to get struck by a melee attack, we can negated melee damage and get more AP, basically going again. And through the Gambler's Coin, through the Inspiration ability, we're going to buff our damage over and over and over again. This is also true for the Dancer's Bracelet, which grants us the powerful call, which is 30% physical damage. So we're going to deal a ton of damage with this unit. All the damage comes from this unit. So if this unit goes down, it's game over. So parry takes care of melee attacks. We have Arrow Guard, which takes care of range attacks, range physical attacks, and we have quick cover versus any attack. This is just to protect this unit. The Rogue is here to prevent basically any melee attack to get through with a ton of evasion, and the evade ability, we're going to steal the passives of any target we currently can. We're going to prioritize casters if we get through the main line to drain them off of any resources and any potential damage to our Swordmaster, and this will take care of basically all units except some that can stun you, that can CC you. Those are dangerous. Especially Griffin Riders can be a pain in the ass because you cannot really guard against them. They will prioritize your backline and that's game over. So try to avoid those enemies. And the last unit I want to show you here is going to be basically Tank Buster with a ton of damage. Like, this unit is not afraid to take damage, but it will dish out amazing amounts of damage. So for our tank, we want to have as much guard rate as possible to mitigate the damage. We are also going to increase our PP through the Azure Crest Great Shield, and then we are going to guard. So basically every time we guard, we get the follow-up attack through our Landsknecht, which has the following slash. So if an ally is attacked, this one will trigger and they will deal a little bit of damage. This one has a lower hit rate, so this one is very, very bad versus scout units or high evasion units. It can fall off in specific fights, so keep that in mind. But for those scenarios, we have our breaker unit, which has a quite decent accuracy. We're going to use the spiked hammer right here, which now provides us with 150% physical potency at 100 hit rate, which is overshadowed by heavy smash versus defensive units, so if they are armored, and assaulting blow if the target is low, so if we get a +1 AP, but otherwise we're going to constantly spike blow. And then we have the enrage ability, which we'll get at level 20, which boosts our attack and accuracy even further. So this unit can be effective versus scout units, but later in the game. And then we have our healer. Because this unit will take damage, we need to somehow heal that. We're going to mostly use our quick heals, and active heal, which now grants a +1 to our AP to a target that's in the backline. So either the Landsknecht or the breaker with the least amount of AP. Most of the time that will be the Landsknecht, so that will be the target of the spell. And then we have the Lifesaver ability to prevent our priest from getting killed. Additionally, we are going to use the Dancer's Bracelet with the powerful calls to buff our damage from the Landsknecht and the breaker even further. And we can suck some enemies with the Bloody Spear to get our health back online. Now this sums up the video. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you have not already. You can also support me some more by joining my channel membership, which will allow me to keep making videos. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.
こいつは任せろ。やってやろうじゃねえか。お役に立ちます。行くぞ。かかってきなさい。見てなさい。